Take a look at that. Nice, foggy Charlian. Looks like everything is all good to go, actually. Splendid, splendid. Hello, everybody. I am Rick, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Dawntrail. It's been a bit, and I did say I want to get back into streaming, so here I am, streaming. For my adventure through Dawntrail, I'm thinking about going through it as the Viper class. But don't worry, I'm still maining Machinist. But I am going to be going through with dual swords for the time being. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. But yeah. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at, Blue Sky at the Rippington. Still getting used to that. Yeah, this is my Viper getup for the current moment. Got most of this from Tomestones. And made these swords myself. So I'll be going into battle with a pair of chain swords. Hope you'll dig that. And a nice white brim hat. That said, I can also ditch the hat if you'd like. But we'll see how we go. Welcome back, Bowsen. I just had word from Ernville. It seems he's managed to secure passage to Tural aboard a guild ship vessel. Why don't you wait in the main hall while I go and inform your travel companion? It should only take a moment. Chica gave us the good news. We've made ready to set sail at a moment's notice. The only one yet to arrive is Ernville himself. Ah, they're all here. Took some persuasion, but the Gleaner's Guild ship has granted us places aboard a vessel bound for Tural. There will be other passengers, researchers, and artisans and the like, so we'll need to share deck space. That's fine, Ernville. I doubt anyone expected we'd have a ship all to ourselves. They're not casting off just yet, so if you have any lingering concerns, now's the time to voice them. I wouldn't call it a concern, but everyone's still clear on what it is we'll be doing in Tural, yes? We've not forgotten. The nation of Tural is in the midst of deciding its next ruler. As your chosen allies, we shall assist you during the rite of succession and support your bid to become Dawn Servants. In addition to that, Alphino and I have another objective. As part of its reconstruction, Garlemald seeks to reconcile and re-engage with its neighbors. By visiting Tural, we hope to learn more about how its myriad cultures interact with one another, how they find common ground, develop stronger ties. The sort of insights that might help our friends in Ilzabad. But we'll pursue this goal in our own time. You can be assured that we'll give the context all due attention. That is all I ask. Otherwise, you're welcome to do as you like. You wanted to find out about your grandfather, right, Cryo? Yes. As far as we could determine from the old missive I found, he had been tasked with investigating the Golden City by your father, the Dawn Servant. Yet oddly enough, we have no record of that investigation in our archives, and nothing to explain the earring which accompanied the letter. Thus, for reasons both official and personal, I should very much like to get to the bottom of this mystery. I'm sure there'll be a chance to speak with Papa. You can get your answers right from the source. I'm looking forward to meeting him. In any case, you're not the only one with an interest in the City of Gold. The Golden City is a children's bedtime story. I am part of this expedition only because the Third Promise has commanded that I serve as a guide. Still playing the part of the stoic servant, I see. What of you? Don't you dare tell me you changed your mind. Hoist the sail, let the wind take us where she pleases. Well said. We won't get far wallowing in the shallows. Right then, if all are still committed to the journey, then I say we make ready to depart. Also, I apologize for any background noise or any chair creaking. So I think I'm just gonna dismiss Safa here for a little bit. Eager as they are, the others have already left the harbor. We're not in danger of missing the boarding call, but perhaps we should be on our way as well.
Savoring the moment? I can feel your excitement, your eagerness to explore the unknown.
Well, for once, the fate of the world doesn't rest on our shoulders. We might even get a chance to enjoy ourselves.
Doesn't rest on our shoulders yet, I would say.
Do not be so quick to relax. Oh, Tural may seem but a short sail away on a map. The vast seas between brim with peril. The treacherous waters of Shade's Triangle alone have claimed countless vessels. Even following the safe route plotted by Admiral Bufiswin herself, this will be no pleasure cruise.
Perhaps, but my voyage here was uneventful enough. Disappointingly so.
Either way, the two of you have first-hand experience, which will be of great comfort in the days ahead, I'm sure.
Aye, it's nothing new to us.
All aboard! We're casting off! It's time. I trust you have everything you need?
Hi.
And so does our ship cast off from the docks. We sail west, as Cattenram did some 80 years past, bound for the New World, known to her children as the continent of Tural.
It's Braha, and I did see Tataru waving us off.
Just wait, Papa. When this contest is said and done, it'll be your daughter who sits the throne. Me! Woklamat!
Smooth sailing so far?
Aye, so far so good. But this sea, she's a fickle one. Calm one moment, blowing a gale the next.
I'll take my rest while I can then.
We left port what seems an age ago now, and we've seen naught but open water ahead. I knew Tural was far, but it's another thing to really know. Speaking of which, some of our fellow passengers have made this trip before. Several times, in fact. I was able to learn a few things about Tuliolal and the right of succession. Since we still have a long way to go, why not have a chat with them yourself? I'm sure you have questions of your own. Did you look out across these same waters, Grandfather?
Oh, this will be my first visit to Tural. Quantitate's the name. I was working at Estate's Aesthetics in Dawn, you see, but my employment with them came to an end. That's why I visited Charlian in the hopes of starting over. While I was attempting, and failing, to find a new job, I seized the chance to board this vessel when I overheard room for another passenger had suddenly opened up. I'm told the Dawn Servant welcomes all regardless of origin, and so to the Yolal seemed like the perfect place to begin anew. Hopefully things will be better this time. The world could always use the more corporations and bureaucracy. An adventurer, I presume? I'm a merchant myself, based in Ul'dah. Specialty imports and exports, Aeosian and Turali both. If this is your first crossing the salt, as they say, do remember that the social mores of Aeosia are not necessarily the same as those over yonder. Consider this. It is not uncommon for the various races to be referred to instead by the names of certain clans. The Makote, the Hetzor, the Hrothgar is a brawl. Not because every member of a given clan is of the same race, mind, but because many individuals of said race are associated with that clan. A fair assumption in certain cases, but take care not to give offense. Oh, I'm used to it. Currently in the first, I'm called a dwarf. Did you want to make a wager? We're taking bets on who will be sat next in the Dawn Servant's shiny chair. There are 4 claimants in the right height of succession. Your young Wuklamad being one of them, of course. But from what a Momoja bloke was telling us, the other 3 are all strong contenders. Not too many keen to rest their coin on the 3rd promise. I see you in Aeosia before. You great and famous hero. Had enough of playing the simpleton. There was a time when we took great pains to maintain the deception, but with more of you Aeosians coming to Tural, it's become impractical. Besides, my mercenary days are over. Too many of our war band have fallen, and so we head home to lick our wounds. Our story? Well, since you asked, I want to retrace the historic journey of the great Kitten Man. You know, the first Eorzean to set foot on Tural, almost 80 years ago. The Bulbs' leader sent to welcome Kitten Ram with open arms. Sent him home with a bounty of silverware in token of their friendship. Real treasure was big rock, potatoes, tomatoes, and corn. Spread across Eorzea like wildfire. His grand adventure led to a culinary revolution. Tales say Ketterman returned to Tural 7 times after that, but his ship vanished during his last recorded voyage, and he was never heard from again. That's even a seasoned explorer like him would meet such an end as a testimony to the ocean's peril. But those are ether crystals. I think fire ones. Oh, whoops. Did you learn anything of interest? No. And learn about the clan names. Should our Pokemon and Aaronville teach us the ones we should know? Actually, it's a little chilly up here on deck. Let's all gather in the cabin.
We're in for a proper storm, it seems.
How's your stomach? Any better?
I don't know what you mean. I don't get seasick. I'm just feeling a little nauseous is all.
Isn't that what seasickness is?
Aaronville, you were born in Tural, yes? Do many Vieira live there?
The Shatona, as my people are called, have settlements mainly in the north, in Tural.
And your family?
I know nothing of my father, not even his name. As for my mother...
Oh boy.
Oh dear.
Oh boy.
Come, we should lend what aid we can.
Alright.
I have not seen the ocean rage with such fury before or since. The heaving waves tossed our ship about like a toy, sending sailors tumbling. The dauntless Alizé, quick to the rescue, was almost lost to the sea herself. Meanwhile, our champion rushed to deploy the vessel's magical defenses, and thereby shield us from the lightning.
Okay, yeah, I'm getting rid of the hat.
What an extraordinary life he must lead to be able to operate such a device with practiced ease. Woklamat, too, threw herself into the rescue efforts, though one might have mistaken her for another soul in distress. By the time the unruly seas had calmed, our strength was all but spent, and we had yet to even glimpse the shores of Tural. In retrospect, of course, that battle against the storm would prove a fitting prelude to the coming contest for the throne.
Hmm. Hmm? Huh. Huh. Guess I must be quite the sleeper then.
Morning. Joining us for some fresh air?
I guess.
Seems my belly has settled along with the weather, but I'll feel much better once we're on solid ground.
It's an improvement.
Ugh. Can't be much farther now, can it?
Seabirds. Land must be near. You need only hold out a while longer.
For a dark moment, I thought the ocean might swallow us. Glad to have my pessimism proven wrong.
In other good news, I examined the sailor who took a fall, and he's faring well. I'm sure he'll make a full recovery.
Good news indeed. If all's well, then we needn't delay in launching the landing boat. Ships have to lower anchors some way from shore. Too close, and they risk having their underbellies ripped open by the reefs that crowd Tuliola's coasts. Come.
Thanks for bringing us all this way.
Ha! We only did what we were paid to do. Couldn't hardly set you adrift halfway. If anything, it should be us thanking you for helping us through that beast of a storm. As a matter of fact, everyone's starting to fancy your chances in the contest. At this rate, we won't be able to lay wagers no more.
Then I better not let you down. Easy, stomach. Easy.
We're the last to board. If there's nothing left to say, then let's shove off, shall we?
blue seas, clear skies, and boundless possibilities. I dare say our destination will soon be in sight.
Enjoying yourself for a change?
You could say that.
There, look, my friends. Behold the scene of our next great adventure.
At last, we are come to the land you call the New World. To my home, Tural.
Dawntrail. Oh man, I was hoping you'd arrive during the day. Oh well, we'll settle for Jazz.
Gods, I've seen cities with an impressive mix of cultures, but this is something else.
Is that a... No. I've never seen Vanu feathers in that color before.
You'll find much here you never knew existed. There may be a sea route now, but visitors to Tural are still few and far between. And as we don't build seafaring ships, only a handful of Turali ever venture abroad.
Mamulja sellswords mostly. Those willing to play the fool sail with Lominsan merchants to secure employment in Eorzea.
I suppose that makes us a rare sight in your country.
Rare and currently undocumented. Were there some forms we should fill out, or...?
This isn't Charlene.
Forms? Did you forget who you're traveling with?
You are outsiders? Visitors to Tural?
We are.
Our nation is soon to hold a right of succession to choose its next Dawn servant. We will not abide interference from foreign agents seeking to foment trouble. What brings you to Tuliolal?
You say that, but...
I can answer that. These fine people are allies in my succession bid.
Third promise. If you vouch for them, then all is well. Of course.
Please, accept our apologies.
No need to bow and scrape. That our soldiers are so diligent in their duties fills me with pride.
When authorities are awkward.
We'll be continuing our patrol then.
Well, well. You really are a figure of authority here.
Are you suggesting I don't look the part?
Yes.
Anyway, first things first. I bid you welcome to Tulihyolal.
Yeah, I'm getting rid of the hat. Well, despite the storm, Horm's efforts to the contrary, here we are, safe and sound. Right then, first things, first things first. Still a bit queasy. No more boats for a while. Just let it all out. I realize we've just arrived, but we should get you familiar with the city before the rite of succession begins. No arguments here. I should very much like to explore. Then I'll guide you. Are you sure? Are you sure you're in any condition to do so? Aha! We're wondering who these strange folk were. So the third promise has found herself some new followers then. Followers? Oklamat, are you unwell? No, not at all. Couldn't be better. The third promise does not get seasick. No, sir. As for my hand-picked entourage here, I recruited them to help me win the right of succession. I was about to show them around the city, in fact. Sounds lovely. As a group of foreigners is going to attract attention, especially if they're in the company of the third promise. Everyone will be curious. We certainly were. Your siblings have a tendency to command a respectful distance, but you're just so easy to approach. And I enjoy it so much that when you do, please, never worry that you are ever a bother to me. You're kind. Good day to you, I promise. They did have a point. Well, Clamat is technically royalty here. Like it or not, a person of her station surrounded by this many outsiders is bound to draw a crowd. Wait, what do you mean, technically? I suggest we move in two groups as to attract less attention. Just technically ignoring me, then. Bowsen, you and Crowd can come with me. I'll take the twins then. No, get in touch once we've had a good look around. That voyage was hard on all of us, so take it slow and recuperate. We have time enough for that. Enjoy your wanderings. Perhaps we should wait a bit. At least until Wuklamat's nausea subsides. No need for that. Look, I'm ready to go. I'm fine now. Really. Huh, stand around all day feeling sorry for myself. The contest looming and all. Now then, seeing as we're already here, I might as well tell you about the harbor. Ariel already mentioned the reefs in our coastal waters, which explains why you don't see any big ships moored at the docks. Only vessels with shallow crafts can navigate the bay. Mostly small fishing boats or barges ferrying cargo up and down the rivers from inland settlements. Much of the incoming traffic is from Tural, the southern landmass. The clans there produce various goods for export. Their wares are unloaded here and carted off to the merchant stalls in the neighboring markets. Speaking of which, Bayside Bevy should be our next stop. Yep. Hmm. This is Bayside Bevy, Tuliolo's largest marketplace. Right on the harbor. Being right on the harbor, everything from fresh fish to imported wares go directly to the shelves. Anything you want, they most likely have. Oh, right. I should mention that here in Tuliolo, we buy things with Pel, a currency that the Pelu created. But don't worry, more and more trade is coming in from Eorzea, so most shops are happy to accept your gil. There's also Wakumeki, another market to the east of here, but that can wait for another time. I have other places I want to show you first. Next, we'll head back a bit, then northwards up the stairs to a certain plaza. I can't wait to see the look on your faces. Etherite. What do you think of that, eh? Goodness me, you have Etherites in Tuliolo? I think I told you before, but my brother Kona spent 3 years studying in Shalian. He fell in love with the nation and its ways and brought back to us the knowledge of Etherite construction. Papa warmed to the idea at once, had one built immediately. Did you do the tuning thing? If you're ready to continue, we'll head down again and then up the slope to the side. Right at the top is the gate which leads to Tural. Let's make a stop at Bright Bloom Post on the way, though. That's the headquarters of the Landsguard. Marching up and down all these slopes and stairs is exhausting. I understand now why markets are endless endurance. We have a lot of narrow, winding streets that crawl up the sides of the mountain. As you can see, though, the builders make sure the city's main thoroughfares were wide enough to accommodate wagons. I do not want to be here. Like, as pretty as Tuliolo is, I do not want this. I do not want to run up those stairs myself. It'd be a scary ride going down at best, and a hellish climb at going up at worst. I would know. I used to go up and down steep hills when going to school. What? Back way when. And I freaking hated those. Here we are, Bright Bloom Post. The soldiers stationed here are responsible for defending Tuliolo and preserving the peace. The Landsguard are led by our nation's strongest warrior, and so naturally Papa has commanded them since the beginning. At least until 3 years ago when Zoralja took over as commander. The title is no empty honor. Means the first promise is considered equal to the Dawn Servant in martial strength. Meanwhile, I haven't even managed to... Well, I'll discuss my brothers and their accomplishments later. Alphino and Alize should be around to hear it too. Come on, it's time I showed you to the Sky Gate. It's right at the northern end of Talon March. Isn't it? On the other side is an equally massive bridge to match. Both were constructed by a race of giants, the Yokwi. Strictly speaking, Tural is actually two separate continents. Tural, the southern lands of the mother, and Tural, the northern lands of the father, which lie beyond the bridge. Legends say it used to be one great landmass. But long, long ago, the two gods fought a titanic battle. And when one threw the other to the ground, the impact was so devastating as to split the continent in twain. Familiar sounding tale. I am put in mind of the conflict between Hydaelyn and Zodiac. But getting back to Tural, those lands are also part of the Tuyolo nation, correct? That's right. Isn't my father incredible? He united the peoples of two continents into a single nation. Many clans of Tural have been at war for generations. It was only when Papa traveled the lands and put a stop to their myriad conflicts that we finally had peace. And that's the main reason I want to win the throne, so I can preserve the peace he built. But I think you're more interested in what's behind the gate than hearing about my aspirations. Crossing the bridge to Tural requires a special travel pass. Unfortunately, they won't issue any new permits until the Rite of Succession is over. I promise to get you one when I'm Dawn Servant, but until then, you'll just have to wait. I'll hold you to that. I've never broken my word. Once the throne is mine, that travel permit is yours. You must have covered half the city by now. Tuyolo is unlike any other place I visited. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. A city of stairs. We'll head west next, towards the Arch of the Dawn. The dirigible landing is on the way. You have dirigibles too? Tuliolo certainly doesn't want for methods of travel. We get by. Now, if you've seen enough of this area, let me know and we'll continue on. Arch of the Dawn is on the other side of the city. Let's wake up. Blah, 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 blah. Anything on the way? No? Good. Let's dash. Oops. Misclick. I just like the sound. I do like the subtle chainsaw-like sound when drawing chainsaw. Well, now my head feels naked without the hat, but it also obscures my face a little bit when I am wearing it. I'll need to change this up next stream. I'm still struggling to conceive how one could construct an entire city on the side of a mountain. This was originally the site of a Yakui temple. The giants built it when they were first making the bridge to Tural to appease the god who slumbers in the great ocean trench. After the Yakui withdrew, the temple... the temple stood empty for centuries. When Papa was establishing his new nation, he saw a structure he could refurbish into a palace, sitting perfectly in the center of Tural. He gathered artisans to do the work, and the houses they built for themselves became the foundation of the city you see today. Speaking of houses, we'll be passing through the Spenland Quarter, the biggest residential district in Tural. We climb these sets of stairs here all the way up. Oh, good. Damn. The sheer scale of this place is incredible. I wonder what the carving at the top represents. Papa's palace is called Volox Perkushunsa, which roughly translates to Invincible Resilience. You probably want to take a closer look, but we'll be coming back here later. Let's move on for now. This is the Resplendent Quarter. How many people live here? Oh, we have residents from all the Tural clans. Mamolja, Zibral, Pelupelu, Moblin, Hanu Hanu. We also have Tonawawata, Pizarro, Shitona, who moved south from the ancestral lands in Tural. In essence, it's a gathering of people from every corner of Tural. A true representation of Tuliolo's diverse character. The adornments of each building contribute to the eclectic cultural aesthetic. It's also beautiful. Eclectic. I'm glad you think so. Come, we continue down the stairs. Please, stop with the stairs. I've never seen such an enormous drum. What would one even use to beat such an instrument? That big drum there is called the Dawn Herald. They play it for formal occasions, like when honoring the Land Guard returned from a dangerous duty. I tried hitting it with my axe once and ripped the skin. Gave me a proper scolding, let me tell you. I think that was the time Papa held me upside down by the ankle. Shortcut. And here are our daredevils. Not bad, eh? I hear other nations use airships to sail the skies, but you only find balloons in Tuliolal. We have them for the exact same reason as the Aetherites. Kalna brought plans back from Shalian. Papa taught them fantastic and commissioned Papa thought them fantastic and commissioned their construction. That was around 3 years ago. Since that time, we've added flights to other settlements. Trade with frontier communities has never been easier. But that's enough about daredevils. The arch of the dawn awaits. I'll pack my bags and... This is it, the Arch of the Dawn. When the Giants were still here, it was known as the Tural language. But when Papa founded Tuliolal, everyone began using its present name in honor of his great achievements. Through this gate is Kazamauka, the wetland south of the city. Depending on what the right of succession asks of us, we might end up going in that direction. Kazamauka. The name alone is intriguing. Speaking of which, what were those fluffy animals we passed earlier? Ah, those are alpacas. They're some four-legged fiends. Fearsome? They seem quite classic to me. You'll learn soon enough, Kryl. You'll learn soon enough. But forget the alpacas. I have something far more important to show you. Come along. If you wish to learn the history of Tuliolal, then look no further. These stone pillars, you mean? Awaken my masters. What is it about these pillars? What is special about these pillars, if I may ask? At a glance, they may look like ordinary stone decorations. You can take a really good look. You'll see there's something much more interesting. They're technically men, trapped in stone. All I ask is that you don't bleed on them. It didn't end well last time. Pictures? No, wait, these are glyphs! They seem to tell a series of stories. Many of them featured a two-headed Mamolja. Oh, this must be... That's right, it follows the exploits of my father, Golul Jaja, and his journey to unite our lands. We call it the Tuliolal Saga. The deeds he performed and the bonds he forged, all immortalized in stone. There's no better way to learn how Tuliolal came to be. Study them as long as you like. Let's see. This one is the Lay of Pots, which depicts moblins of Kazamauka. They might wear odd masks and sound weirdly muffled when they talk, but the gold and silverware they sell is the best you'll find anywhere. Moblin goods are the standard when it comes to gift giving. Clearly the Vanu are the only people with distant Turali counterparts. This one recounts the lay of the past. As you can tell, the figure depicted here is the Zabral, like me. For decades, the Zabral and the Mamolja were at war for control of the forests of Yaktel. The actions father took to end the conflict have since been hailed as the first steps in the founding of Tuliolal. There's the clan of Rothgar and Bozja known as the Hellions. known as Hellions. In their society, the women rule as queens, the men serve as devoted subjects. Here in Tural, the brown men and women appear to be of equal status. How dramatically culture can vary with location. Yes! Sounds rising. This pillow tells the lay of the Brotherhood. It depicts a scene where Papa granted an audience to the foreign explorer, Ket something. I can never remember the name. You mean Ketenram? Ah, that's the one. Ketenram's arrival in Tural is what prompted Papa to embark on his Dome journey. It's said the two grew to be close friends, brothers in spirits, if not in blood. But no one knows what became of the explorer in later years. Ketenram's disappearance is a mystery in Eorzea as well. I could say he traveled between our lands and yours for a while, but then it seems he was lost at sea. Here we have the Lay of Reeds. This is a story when Papa visited the Hanu in their village in Casablanca. The people of Avano almost mistook for Hanu, if not for the colorful plumage. He spent a fair bit of time among the Vanu in the Sea of Clouds. It's no surprise he took an interest in your countrymen. Then, I'm trying to remember if he might have been, but I can't remember. It's been a bit since Heaven's Word. I don't know how it is with your Hanu, but our Hanu are a bright and cheerful sort. They hold this one festival every year, very famous and a lot of fun. If you're done with the first half, we can move on to the second. The Lay of Gold. This pillar shows one of the Pelupelu, whose homeland is in Urkopacha. Having created our currency, the Pelu are rightfully known as the Merchant Clan. They oversee Turiala's markets, and the traveling peddlers are a common set sight no matter where we go in Tural. Don't let their size fool you. They might be mistaken as children, but beneath those baked masks, they are clever and calculating traders. So there's a lot about this land. Oh, this one is my favorite. The Lay of Ice. It depicts the battle with the legendary Tural Vidral, Baligarmanda. I should explain. A Tural Vidral is a creature that has lived far beyond its usual lifespan and awakened to preternatural power. Tom described the Far East auspices in a similar fashion. Could this be the same phenomenon? Baligarmanda itself was dubbed the Sky Ruin, a name earned for the destruction and terror it visited upon Tural every time it stirred from its slumber. But 80 years or so ago, its ruinous reign was brought to an end. After a great struggle, Papa and his comrades managed to overcome the raging Vidral, healed the way in the Urkopacha Mountains. Despite its reputation, however, Baligarmanda is also a symbol of power. That's why we will see its likeness on Tuliala's national emblem and adorning the banners at the palace. Now they have proof. That big fellow is of the Yokwi, the largest of Tural's peoples. These giants once used their great size and strength to establish a dominion encompassing all of Tural. Having brought the southern reaches to heel, they then turned northwards, setting their sights on Tural. Recall that massive bridge they built beyond the Sky Gate. Sometime after launching their northern campaign, however, they just gave up. They abandoned the lands they conquered and withdrew into the mountains of Urkopacha. I've never seen any of their kind so much as set foot in the city. This was a people with the power and resourcefulness to raise a temple on the mountaintop and build a bridge across the sea with stone. What would move them to renounce their ambitions and their place in Turali history? Oh, this one is unmarked. Oh, this one's unmarked. Papa says he left a blank pillar for the next chapter of Tuliola's history, whatever that might be. Had your fill of history then? Yes, thank you. Glad to hear it. You know, I feel awfully hungry all of a sudden. No surprise that they're saying I couldn't keep anything down for a while. Now I think I'm ready to eat again. So let's go and have ourselves a bite of a local delicacy. Come, I'll take you to the best restaurant in town. In the city. I like the sound of that. The Donkey Kong country music. Have you ever had a taco? Have you ever had tacos? They're a Tuliyola classic. You make a crunchy shell made from corn flour, fill it with meat and salad. Lots of shops in Seoul sell them. But I like how they're made here. It's like, well, you have to pay best. And I need one right in front of me right now. I sit downstairs and place an order with old broccoli too.
Brookevo! My companions must sample your heavenly tacos. One for each of us, please.
Right away, promise. And I'll pack them tight with my choicest feelings. Only the best for you and your friends.
Did you hear the Silver Scares are back? Seems their overseas foray ended in disaster. More than half their warband is missing, including their leader.
Aye. And now keen to rebuild their broken reputations, the survivors seek the Golden City. A fool's errand. How many hopefuls have disappeared in search of that fable? They should count their lucky stars they came home alive at all.
The legend of the Golden City is well known here, I take it.
It is, but as no one's ever seen it, many question if there is any truth to the tale. Like our skeptical Erinville.
I can't imagine the Dawn Servant would request a formal survey for a place that doesn't exist.
Now to find a spot with a pleasant view to enjoy our crunchy spoils. Oh. Ah.
If it isn't the third promise.
What the?
I don't know these ones. New salt.
Dredge from foreign waters is my guess, brother.
Of course, that's it.
Wuklamat is so afraid of the coming contest that she went crying for special help.
Was there something you wanted, Bakul Jaja?
The third promise remembers us! Such an honor. Glory on your name, brother. And on yours, brother.
I know my rivals for the throne. Nothing more.
Another child of the Dawn Servant?
No, this brute.
We have no ties to their farce of a family. Unlike the sneevling housecut, we are blessed siblings, the elevated chosen. We alone are fit to succeed Golul Jaja as Dawn's servant.
All peoples are equal in Tulihiola. Your heritage gives you no greater claim to the throne.
Shall we test that idea here and now? See if your strength is equal to ours.
None of this has any bearing on the right of succession, correct? Best not waste your energies on pointless scuffles.
Indeed.
The kitten comes to the house cat's defense. Pathetic. Since when was our nation overrun by mewling weaklings?
You say that, but I've killed one of your type before.
Listen to me, you.
A two-headed mamulja. I knew of them, but that's the first I've seen in the flesh.
Some get it into their twin heads that they're destined to follow in my father's footsteps. So they travel to distant lands to hone their battlecraft. Those are likely the ones you've heard about.
Are there other two-headed claimants?
No, just Bakul Jaja. Even in Tural, his kind are far from common. The Mamulja people largely belong to one of three clans. The Hubigo, the Bunewa, and the Dopro. Every once in the great while, a two-headed offspring is born from a union between the brown-scaled Hubigo and the blue-scaled Bunewa. The child grows to possess immense strength, both physical and magical.
Blessed siblings indeed.
Forget them. Let's go and buy more tacos. I can think of nothing better to rid me of this bad taste in my mouth.
Enjoying your tour of the city, I trust. We've seen our share of notable sights and took a moment to rest. As such, we're ready to present ourselves at the palace for the rite of succession. Shall we meet you there?
The palace it is. I'll let Wuklamat know. Destiny calls. Perhaps we can return for more tacos later?
It's taco.
So it goes.
Putting the flat bread. I was looking forward to trying some authentic Tural cuisine. But we should hurry and join Alphino and the others at the palace. Alright. It's a bit of a climb to the top, but you can head up from the Resplendent Quarter, or even the eastern side of Talon March if you prefer. Now, if you have an idea of how the city's laid out, I'll let you find your own way to Shunza. Oh, my poor empty belly. Sorry, I had hiccups and had a bit of maybe burping a wee bit. Good. You made it. Good. And we're all here. I'm still hungry enough to eat a whole roasted colibri, but the contest won't wait for us forever. I've appointed the twins for the city as best as I could in a short time. Their unbridled enthusiasm made it rather difficult. Invariably something would catch their eye, spurring them to run down an alley to investigate. It was like herding a pair of unruly curls. I understand all too well. Charlian had the same effect on me. Right then. Now it is time we saw the inside of the palace. Papa will want to know I'm home and meet the allies I've chosen. Given how impulsive he is, though, there is no telling what we might be in for. Huh? Hey. Athenian! And a big boy.
Estinian? When did he get here?
More to the point, why is he here?
Why not?
Oh, you know this man? Whenever my father spots a promising opponent, he invites them to Sunperch to duel. Pressing duties or no, he can't resist a good fight.
So the one Estinian is crossing blades with.
No.
That will do, Spearman. I will receive my darling daughter.
Hey, man.
Know that you are the strongest I fought in many a moon, if not longer. It is the privilege of a life long lived to face such a formidable soul.
If it's formidable you want, then look no further than that man there.
Way to call me out, man.
I see you, warrior.
We had no idea you meant to visit Tural.
I've seen what lies east. This time I chose west.
And thus did our itinerant dragoon make his travel plans.
You witnessed our bout. If you thought he was fearsome, that was with one head dozing.
I'm not sure I understand.
The old man has been feeling his ears. The uncovered side is the head of resolve, and age has only deepened his love for combat. But the head of reason, wiser of the two, sleeps more and more these days. As I understand it, the veil helps with the restoration of his magical energies.
Enough about me, Lamati. I want to hear of your adventures.
Lamachi.
A term of endearment. It's what my family calls me.
Oh. When last did we see you in the palace? Greetings, Solonesh.
It's Erenville now, Dawn Servant. I took the name while abroad, and have since grown accustomed to it.
Erenville, then. And these others? I assume are Lamati's recruited allies.
You'd be correct.
Ha! Old-tempered steel. Yet as much as I'd enjoy testing their metal, the hour of the right is at hand. I will summon the other claimants at once.
Then I shall leave you to it. Good fortune, my friends.
Oh man, see you later, man. Ever to go where the wind takes you. Two heads, twice the asshole.
The claimants are assembled. The first promise, Zorolja. The second promise, Ona. The third promise, Uklamat. And lastly, the chosen of Mamuk, Bakun Jaja. You four will compete in the rite of succession, the outcome of which will decide who takes my place as Dawn Servant. I am not the man I once was. My wiser half sleeps the days away, and it is time I yield my position. But mine is a torch that has never been passed. Tuliyola is young, and so I look to the always for inspiration. The rite of succession, the means by which the autarch of Mamuk was chosen. only the two-headed were deemed fit for this contest. But the Tural I built is a nation of many peoples. Our leader needn't have two heads, nor be a Mamulcha at all. So I gave the right of claimant, not only to the son I sired, but to my adopted children as well. Yet the opportunity to rule was still not equal. That is why a recent tournament offered a place in the contest as the winning prize.
Now you have us to compete against. Though it seems the One-Head was already too afraid to face us in the tournament.
Our brother was in Shock Tural leading the Landsguard on a campaign to eradicate a Tural Vidral. Anyone with sense would know he was too busy for games.
Now for the part you've been waiting to hear. The nature of the contest itself. To triumph in the right of succession, and thereby claim our nation's throne, you must travel the lands of Tural and find the City of Gold.
If I may, Father.
Speak, Kona.
The Golden City is an ancient Turali legend, but after so many failed attempts to find it, the story has become more fairy tale than fact. If you would charge us with such a quest, are we then to assume you have proof of the city's existence?
I offer as proof my unbroken word, for I have seen it with my own 4 eyes.
The city's real. All those years.
This was before the founding of Tural. I traveled the lands of Tural with my companions, and we ended our journey at the gates to the Golden City. I mean to have you do the same, but in order to achieve victory proper, you need to break the seal I put in place. Bring them.
The images on the pillars.
The Tuliyola saga.
You will retrace the path I walked to unite our peoples, step by step. Along the way, 7 chosen electors will be waiting to measure your worth. Earn their keystones by performing the feats they ask of you.
Once you've fitted each of the 7 tablets with the keystone, you'll have the key to unlock the seal on the Golden City's gates.
So the contest is in stages, none of which can be skipped by rushing to the ultimate objective.
Exactly. Exciting, isn't it?
Martial tournaments, hunting festivals, and now this? You do so love your contests, Papa.
Were I a few years younger, I would have joined in myself, giving you a proper challenge. You may think the ride is tedious or nonsensical, or both, but I am yielding our nation's throne. Let me have this final indulgence.
A waste of time. Just name Bakunja as successor and be done with it.
The rite of succession begins now. I'll be watching your progress with great interest. And Clemens, remember to collect your tablets before you leave. You are one of Lamachi's allies. Speak freely.
I am Kryl Baldessian, representative of the students of Baldessian. My name is perhaps familiar to you?
Ah.
It would seem you sent this letter to my orders some years ago. The ink has since faded and much of the writing is illegible. Even so, we managed to determine the essence of it. A request to investigate the Golden City, addressed to my grandfather, Galuf. Included with the correspondence was this earring. A fairy tale and a piece of jewelry were enough to convince my grandfather to sail halfway across the world. So there is surely some greater mystery at work here. On behalf of the students, I've come to seek clarification on the matter. Have you any knowledge you might share with me?
No, not at this time. I have tasked the claimants with finding the Golden City. To fulfill your request would afford one of them an unfair advantage in the right of succession. But once the contest is decided, I plan to entrust the entire truth to my successor. If you want to hear it, then you had best help Lamachi win.
Very well, Dawn Servant. On my honor as a student of Baldessian, I will find your Golden City. Thank you for hearing my petition.
How about that? She's grown into a remarkable young woman. You should be proud, Galuf.
Too late to change your mind now, I suppose. But are you sure you wish to be part of this?
Hey. It's an adventure, right?
Our third promise is not wont to take no for an answer. Though you may have agreed to help, I worry that you were swept up in her relentless enthusiasm. Or perhaps you've been lured by the glory of the Golden City. Either way, this contest for the throne will place you and yours at the heart of political turmoil.
What's
If you
new?
are second-guessing your decision, tell me now. This may be my last chance to help you withdraw.
Life is a series of journeys, my friend, and there's no telling what awaits us on the long road. But what's important is to be true to yourself as you walk it. Only then can we hope to be content when we arrive at the end of one and step forward into another.
Boy. I want to see where this journey leads.
So you are committed to your path? I will speak no more of it then. As for my own involvement, I can no longer conduct myself as a mere guide, I think. Not after the Dawn Servant's revelation.
Let's just hope the other participants aren't too promising.
Here they come! It's Saralja! Such a fearsome mien. Make no mistake, there goes Tuliola's mightiest warrior.
First promise, our village needs aid. The cold weather stunts our crops, and the children of our village go hungry. Once you ascend the throne, I beg of you, grant my people new lands, please!
Saralja. Take heart, tiller of the soil.
The resilient son, blood heir to the Dawn Servant, has heard your pleas.
Soralja, the first promise and commander of the Landscape. Saralja, the palaceer. As he was so careful to remind the crowd, Soralja is indeed the natural child of Gurul Jaja.
And Resilient Son, is that another title, like the first promise?
After a fashion, common knowledge has it that two-headed Mamulja cannot sire children. Yet Soralja was born all the same, with a head of resolved features and a head of reasoned scales. An extraordinary example of life's unyielding resilience.
Really rare specimen.
And a warrior's reticence. He says little, but the way he moves... I know a hardened soldier when I see one.
He's a natural swordsman, a gift he inherited from his father. Some even say that the son has already surpassed the sire. Should he come to power, the first promise means to employ that martial prowess in the conquest of foreign lands. For this, he and his supporters have been labeled expansionists. This puts him in direct opposition to Wuklamat, who advocates for the preservation of peace. You may recall that she spoke of a claimant who cannot be allowed to rule. That is Soralja, the warmonger.
Cryon, are you all right?
The echo. It gave me a glimpse into Zawaljar's ambitions. Deep and unknowable, like an abyss, yet at the same time a roaring, unquenchable fire. It was a trifle terrifying, to be frank.
That's right, Kryle's echo makes her very sensitive to the visions. That gives her extra sensitive visions.
Second promise, you must bring us more marvelous conveniences. More dirigibles and trains and the like. We need you in charge to make trading easier.
The elders, they complain and complain about abandoning tradition. But we're not like them, afraid of everything foreign and new.
You have our wholehearted support. With your ingenuity and knowledge, you're sure to win the contest.
Forgive me, but the rite of succession is barely begun. I will hear your petitions if and when I am named Dawn Servant. If you will excuse me. Plain spoken, as always.
That's Arcona. Practical to a fault.
Here we have Kona, the second promise, who spent time as a pupil at Charlian's own studium.
Now that you mention it, I think I did see him in the halls once or twice. There was nothing to suggest he was Turali, much less from a royal family.
That was by design. He forwent his usual garb and took an Eorzean name to avoid attention.
So it was Kona who introduced the dirigibles. And the railway too, given what we just heard.
In furtherance of his goal, to enrich Tuliolal with every bright notion he learned of in Charlian. He is the hope of those who prize innovation. As aloof as he may seem, Kona and Wuklamat actually get along rather well. They bicker and banter as only close siblings do.
And then there's the guy who will have no fans. Or at least very few.
How gracious of you all to cheer the lesser Clavans. Come now. What are you afraid of? I'm no different from your Dawn servant. That my kind should reign is Mamulja tradition, and has been so since before there was a Tuliyola. I'll brush aside your feeble contenders, and then you'll see who deserves your fealty.
Well said, brother.
The Mamulja have finally found peace in Tuliolal. A pity those fanatics are intent on keeping that tradition alive.
The chosen of Mamuk, Bakul Jaja, winner of the recent martial tournament, and the only claimant not of the Dawn's promise. His strength is undeniable, but you see how he is. A few devoted Mamulja are his only supporters.
What would he do with the throne should he win it?
His policies and so forth. I doubt he's thought much beyond winning the contest itself. But one thing seems certain. If he does become Dawn Servant, he will see the Mamulja exalted as the ruling class, and all others forced into subservience.
sounds like another that cannot be allowed to rule.
And the crowd is clearing out because they know who their fans are.
We wish for one thing and one thing only, Third Promise. To abide together in harmony with our neighbors whom we love in this land we share. It is our way, the Turali way.
Galul Jaja built for us this peaceful nation, and we beg you to preserve it.
You have my word. I won't let your pleas go unanswered.
Until Tuliolal was founded some 80 years ago, this continent was ravaged by war. The eldest among us remember that dark era, and they are Wuklamat's most ardent supporters.
Apologies, it's hard to get away. This is Namika, my childhood nursemaid. She's been like a mother to me my whole life. I told her it wasn't necessary, but she insisted on seeing us off.
I place our precious third promise into your care.
Did you know Wuklamat was taking part in the rite of succession?
Of the Dawn's promise. I thought it was only Zoralja and Kona. If she has any accomplishments to her name, I've yet to hear them.
Compared to the two Mamulja, she pales in martial prowess. And then there's Kona, who's far and away the most educated of the bunch. I hate to say it, but it's hardly a competition.
There's more to it than just might and might.
It's fine. I understand how much better my brothers are than me.
Better? Wuklamat. I have never thought of you as the lesser sibling. Your brothers may excel in their respective ways, but you boast qualities that both lack. A strength that is yours alone. Having cared for you for so long, I should know.
Thank you, Namika. Well, we ought to be on our way.
Yes, hurry along. I await word of your victory with bated breath.
Yep. Well, so much for the brief reunion I had in mind. Papa is not one to waste time when he decides to act. I'm used to it by now, of course, but others are often caught off guard. In any case, we should talk about how we're going to find the City of Gold. All we have to work with are the 7 tablets and their connection to the Tuliolal saga. Might I suggest first comparing the tablets against the pillars? We could check for any discrepancies between them. Good idea. Let's go and take a look. Makes everyone. Well, come on. The tablet, if you would. Of course. Everyone has a tablet? Then let's compare them to their respective pillars. Keep an eye out for even the smallest differences. And I think there's a difference. Unless I'm missing something, the glyphs appear to be identical. The only difference being that the tablets have hollows where the keystones are to be fitted. So now that we've established that the scenes are the same, where do we go from here? The Dawn Servant said we were to retrace the path he walked in uniting Tural's peoples, and that we would encounter 7 electors along the way. Then we have the answer right in front of us. Papa's path is all laid out in the Tural saga. The events the glyphs portray. Do we know the exact locations where they took place? If one is close, we could go there and search for an elector. That would confirm we're on the right track. Let me think. The Lay of Reeds was in the nearby Hanu settlements. Papa took me there once. It was during festival season, and the whole village was live with good cheer. There's also the Lay of the Gold. The Lay of Gold. That one involves the Pelu Pelu village, which is about the same distance from here. Before going anywhere, we should ask about the road ahead. I've heard a lot of talk as we toured the city about the storm we passed through at sea. Apparently it ravaged Tural several days ago. Since our roads are not as well paved as Eorzea's, they're more susceptible to damage from natural disasters. If we want to avoid wasting time taking a dead-end trail, I suggest we spend a few moments making inquiries. If it's information we need, just leave it to me. I'll bring the information to us. It would be prudent to ensure we're prepared for the journey. I'll guide you to the accommodations I've arranged. That's right, the reservation is under Diplomat's name. If you don't mind, I'll leave my companions to you. Certainly, sir. I'll go and track down the third promise. Once you finish organizing your gear, you can meet us outside the FFXIV. Greetings, visitors to Tural. Greetings, visitors to Tural, and welcome to Ford Cabins. Whenever you're ready, I'll show you to your rooms. I think the neighbor's dog is barking. I hope it's not being picked up. Okay, good. Trust you to be the keenest ahead, Alison. Where are Erinville and Wooklamot, I wonder? Oh, good. You're all here. Who might your companions be? Seeing as we needed information, I thought who better to get it from than the locals. These two hail from the villages we're thinking to visit. I'll give you credit for taking initiative, at least. What do you mean, at least? I am honored that the third promise would seek my advice. I, too, am happy to answer your questions. Any encounter might be an opportunity to do business. Thank you both for your help. Before we begin, there will doubtless be other occasions when we need to act independently, so I brought these for the two of you. What's this? This is called a link pearl, a gemstone harvested from a special shell. When linked together, they allow people to communicate across great distances. Is that so? What a handy thing to have! It'll be very useful on our travels. Speaking of which, I should get back to introducing my two new friends here. The Tural saga features a number of Tural's clans. Two of those, the Hanu and the Pelu, have settlements relatively close to the city, so I brought a representative of each. As I mentioned before, the Hanu are cheerful people who love their festivals. They make their appearance in the Lay of Reeds, and their home village, Okanu, is located in Casablanca. The other smaller Pelu is one of the Pelu, a clan of business-minded folk from Orcapacha. They appear in the Lay of Gold and craft all kinds of marvelous goods in Wukon Pelo, their village. As for deciding which village to visit first, why don't you pick that adventurous instinct of yours to work for us, Alison? Pick our destination! Ah, I see, I get to pick. I started with Orcapacha last time, so I'm gonna start with Casablanca. So, what is it you like to know? The route to Okanu. Go south through the Arch of the Dawn, then follow the road which runs along the Casablanca River. Is that right? It is. Be warned, however. My brethren tell me the recent storm has rendered the path even muddier than usual. The footing is quite poor in some parts. Far worse was the destruction visited upon our homes, though. Houses were torn apart and several people injured, if not killed. Even our beloved festival is in danger of being called off this year. If you still plan on going, I must urge you to proceed with caution. Well, be sure to watch out for things. Thank you. Now I'm worried for the Hanu. It sounds like they were hit hard by that storm. Anyway, if we're bound for Casablanca, we should head over to the Arch. We'll be back to talk to you in good time, Master Merchant. Meanwhile, you can eat and drink your fill at Zebrote. It's all been arranged. It's pretty close to the time, but it would be calling it early. That being said, it does feel like a natural stopping point. You know what? I think I will call it here. I know it's very early ending and also a very late start to my usual times. Very different. And I'm slowly eking my way back into this sort of thing. Thank you all for tuning in, those who decided to drop on by. I do hope to do another one of these streams later on. Maybe even get back to either Kina, Bridge of Spirits, or Entropy Center. I'm not sure which, or if I'll ever be doing that. But more updates as it comes on my Blue Sky at Rippington and on social. But yeah, for now and as always, until next time, folks. See you later.